It's about the I gotta say, it's the stupidest thing in sports.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State. Jalen Watts Jackson.
Uh-oh, that looked awful.
On the last play of the game.
Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe.
Phoenix has the ball, and a pinnacle ball throws it down.
The break gets it back to Johnson. Sparing across now. King.
They score! Raymond!
Johnson to throw it. It's caught by St. Brown for a first down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
BS Sports.
And okay. Thanks.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Hello.
Wow.
And
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
thanks, Kamala.
Yep.
Welcome to BS
back.
Sports. Seth is here.
Wow.
Bass Pro Shop and all.
I'm
Love to see that.
Guy.
Did you get that at the Great Lakes Crossing?
Mm-mm.
You just
Nope.
have that. You just have that hat on standby.
It's on standby.
You can
yeah.
fish.
Somewhat. I dabble.
Okay, you dabble in fishing.
I
Fair enough.
I dabble. Yeah.
Fair enough. Look, we're just trying to fill air right now. It is a slow news week. This is
Indeed.
like the worst week in sports because
Ever.
it's close enough
Yeah.
to like college football is happening this weekend, Seth.
It is.
But it doesn't feel like it. And also,
Yeah.
we'll get into it later in the show, but it's like you're at that point in the preseason where you're like, okay, I've seen everything I need to see. Pretty much all the teams have decided on their quarterbacks if they were undecided.
Yeah.
You got to see all the rookies. Every, for the most part, meaningful injury has occurred.
It is true.
I just need real football. I need real things happening. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
So we're gonna break down Lions preseason week 2. All
right.
And we got some baseball.
We do have some of that.
Your baseball team is doing very well.
Surprisingly.
Top seed in the wild
Hey,
card.
Jackson Merrill.
Wait, yeah, we might have some,
he's our
some
savior.
baseball live reaction postseason to do. Could
We
you
could.
imagine?
Imagine
This
that.
would be the first postseason
Yeah.
that's not sad.
Just
Well, it
when
might
I
be
thought
sad, I
this show
guess.
could be a curse when
You're right.
Padres
you
were
start
doing
the show,
terrible.
Padres dead. Ducks dead. Bucks haven't won a playoff series.
Everyone's dead.
Everyone's Michigan State dead.
dead. Yeah.
It's like that scene. Oh my gosh, what's the mob movie where I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house
Want him
burned to
dead,
the ground,
dead.
and I want to piss on the ash. It's
Yeah.
like that with
It's
all of our teams, except for the
Pretty
Lions.
much.
Except
for
it's
the
a bit of a
Lions.
trade. Bit of a trade
Yeah.
for at least me.
Which I mean, I can go for some Lions, winning. So
Right. To me, it's
I
like,
like it.
yeah, it's like I mean, obviously I like it, but it's like I feel the same way. Like when I see the Padres succeed, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what? I can at least like have some fun with that, and it's also it
Padres are a
helps that
fun
they're in the
team.
National League,
Yeah.
right? So it's not
That's
like
true.
it really affects the Tigers all that much. They do play each other next month
Did they?
in San Diego. I want to say
Oh.
it's like the first week of September. So
Oh,
yeah,
so
should be a tough one. Don't let the Tigers get hot, is what they say.
Okay.
But Seth, I guess
Yep.
we'll just get started here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to break down this preseason week 2 Lions.
Week
they
C's
come back over the
against the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah. The reigning nobody nobody beats the Lions in Arrowhead. Nobody undefeated.
Nobody. That's true.
Nobody.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, there's a few takeaways I have from this. Number one, Jake Bates. He may be him. I don't know if you saw Jake Bates. He missed an extra point.
But
That was just to lead everybody into a false sense of
was-
security. That was just to make the Chiefs go, oh, we just got to keep them in field goal range. They can't make kick. Jake Bates went a hundo, 4 for 4 from field goal, made a 55-yarder, made a game winner.
yeah,
12 total points on the board for Jake Bates. Obviously would have been the difference in just a 1-point win. Ironically enough, if he didn't miss the extra point, it wouldn't have mattered. We would have won. But
still,
I mean, like,
you got to keep it interesting in the preseason, right?
this guy, like, to me, it's always weird when you find these kickers. Like Jake Bates, former soccer player. Did he ever play in like the Major League Soccer or any? Like, I don't know where he played.
I don't think so.
I know he was a former soccer player at some level. And then obviously last
Bates.
year with the Michigan Panthers in the UFL was
Mhm.
just a stud.
He played college soccer for the Central Arkansas Bears
Oh, the Bears. Everybody loves them.
and college football for the Texas State Bobcats and Arkansas
Hey,
Razorbacks.
oh, really? He went to Arkansas. Wow.
He's in Arkansas. Yeah.
Huh. I did not know that. SEC guy.
He
It
is.
just means more. It just means more.
It really does.
But yeah, I mean, like, joking aside, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Still.
funny, like, thinking about it. The Lions have not really had a good, consistent kicker since Matt Prater.
Yeah.
Like, we've had the Michael
that-
Badgley show and the Riley Patterson show.
And
And
you're like,
look,
wow.
Riley Patterson again. He's back.
Yeah.
Michael Badgley's back. And then, oh my God.
And then
I was listening to the radio the other day. They listed off. Oh my! Do you remember Ryan Santoso? Or
that name does not sound familiar.
so you might not know the name, but you will remember the game in 2021. Lions Steelers goes into overtime. Lions in range for a game-winning field goal. Chance to get their first win in the
Yep.
Campbell era, and he shanks this kick into
Yeah.
the river. Like, it was one of the worst kicks I ever.
No,
they, like,
I
cut
do
him the
remember
next
that.
day. It was
Yeah.
they might have cut him before the game ended. They might have just like, you know what,
Yeah.
Santos, you're out. I don't
I
wanna
do
see
remember
your
that
face.
because that was all over. Like that was just a bunch of memes about how
Because
the
it was like the Lions
yeah,
can't even like they're
even
like
do it.
they're in the exact spot and they have so little talent they
just can't do
cannot
it.
win a game. Like
Yeah.
they would end up tying before they end up winning.
Yep.
It was incredible stuff.
Classics.
But I like what I'm seeing from Bates. I would like to see a few more extra points. Obviously, probably just
It's-
I mean,
it's
obviously
probably
he missed the one.
I mean,
but-
yeah, but I chalk that up to maybe like jitters too.
Yeah, right. I mean, he really
And
didn't kick a lot of extra points. Like every
And nobody
touch,
is
we had-
perfect.
We didn't
So-
have, yeah, right. Nobody's perfect. We didn't have a touchdown until this game
Until-
in the preseason.
Mhm.
So, and then in every other instance when we did have a touchdown, it was like we
It's-
were going for two, right? Like
Yeah.
the touchdown late in this game, we went for two because we
Was for
tried
two.
to tie the game, tie the game,
Yep.
and didn't work out. So I guess what I'm looking for this week against the
Mhm.
Steelers, I'm looking for let's just get into the end zone, which
As-
is easier said than done.
Sure.
And then just kick the extra point every time. I mean, obviously you want to win. If it's a situation where you're going to win the game, you go for two.
right, but
Like, ideally, try to score early, first drive of the game,
Yep.
second drive, whatever. Just maybe make it a low-ish pressure situation because most extra points are pretty low pressure situations.
yeah, especially
uh,
yeah,
Yeah, certainly in preseason because all the results
Certainly
don't
now.
really matter.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no other way to get him reps live other than you got to score. So, and speaking of scoring, Hendon
Yeah.
Hooker
Hendon
has arrived.
Yeah.
He is our backup quarterback of the future. Seth,
yeah.
I got to ask you a question.
Okay, I might have it.
When Hendon Hooker was
Mhm.
drafted,
Yeah,
or let's go even further back.
Okay.
When Hendon Hooker was at the University of Tennessee, go Volunteers, and he was beating Alabama, and he was the star of the show.
I recall.
Like the appeal about him, obviously he was an older guy, was like this guy could go number 1 overall. This
Mhm.
guy's stud. This guy's a first round quarterback.
I seem to recall this.
Unfortunately,
Mhm.
his leg fell off shortly thereafter.
Yep.
And he falls to the Lions in the 3rd round. I want to say we traded up to get him. I could be wrong about that, but
Yep.
he's either way, he ends up falling to the 3rd round.
Which is incredible.
And now he's the backup. Seth, 12 for 15, 150 yards, 108 quarterback rating on ESPN, an average of 10 yards per throw. He also
Wow.
ran for 11 yards, including a rushing touchdown.
Ooh,
Had that, I believe it was a 9-yard rush for the touchdown. I could be wrong on that.
very
But
nice.
like, I'm not saying we have like emergency, in case of emergency, break glass. Here comes Hendon Hooker. But
But
I was thoroughly impressed.
yeah,
Like-
and I think those are great numbers.
Yeah, like he's shown some amount of like comfort. Like, I mean, last week at the Giants game, played 1 quarter, his head fell off. Got a concussion. He's back.
As that does.
I think he had 1 practice, if that,
And
and
he's doing that
whole second half, he takes over. He has
right.
multiple scoring drives,
And-
including a touchdown drive near the end of the game.
Right.
The only thing he had going for him that wasn't good was he fumbled at like the 7-yard line and nearly lost the game for the Lions. But I mean, he made up for it. He drove down into field goal range and lined Jake Bates up. To me, if we want to talk about backup quarterback situations, it's like,
I think it's a good one.
Well, like Hooker, it's like he has that upside where it's like, if something were to happen to Jared Goff, your season is probably not going to go the way you want it to go. But
still,
that this lends credence to it's not a bad idea to every other draft or so just draft a quarterback. Any quarterback.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
you
even
look
if
at
their leg falls off,
right? Like you look at, I mean, not to use a sad example, you look at your Chargers last year, who had what was the quarterback they played when Justin Herbert went down?
Easton Stick.
Easton Stick. Who the heck is Easton Stick?
I don't know.
Where did he go? Where did he go to college?
I don't even know that answer off the top of my head, to be quite honest with you.
I have no idea. Did he go to college? He went to Lansing Community College?
He probably did. LCC?
Go Lions?
Anyone?
I
Go
think
Lions?
the Lions. I don't know what they are.
North Dakota State.
Oh, the Jackrabbits?
The Bison.
Okay, I'm thinking of South Dakota State, I believe. I think they're the Jackrabbits.
It's fitting.
You know what? Either way, Easton Stick. Nobody knows who the heck that guy is. Hendon Hooker, whatever you want to say about him, if you think he's overrated, if you think he's nothing.
Yep.
He's a name. He's I don't want to say an adult in the room because he's not a veteran of the league by any stretch of the imagination. But for goodness sake, he's better than Nate Sudfeld. If Nate Sudfeld had to come in a game-winning situation, I would basically give up on the season. I would say, you know what? It was good. Let's just go ahead, pass it off to next year.
Yeah.
Let's just move along because Nate Sudfeld was not him, as the kids say. Hendon Hooker, at the very least, might be him, even though he's like 100 years old. But I'm pretty sure he's older than Jared Goff. That's not true. That's not accurate.
not.
He's close. They might have been in the. Maybe it was like he got held back or something.
Yeah, he got held back here.
Jared Goff went to young 5, so that's why.
Oh,
things are confusing there.
Yeah. That's it.
And I got a couple other players here I want to talk about that have over the last couple of weeks somewhat won me over. And I made this point on the first preseason broadcast, live reaction, that there is always a guy, or at least there has been the past couple of preseasons, where they'll have like one or two plays that make you go, whoa. And then that season, in the regular season, they kind of come out of nowhere for teams. I remember last year, I believe it was the first preseason game, Jahmyr Gibbs had like a 20-yard catch and run.
Oh,
and it was
really?
like, whoa. Okay.
Like,
and then
maybe
Jahmyr Gibbs was like, all right, we're done. No more in the preseason. I've seen enough. I'm satisfied. And then Jahmyr Gibbs goes out, has a heck of a season.
Yep.
The two guys that I want to point out are Isaiah Williams, who caught 6 passes for 71 yards.
Okay.
Had a 37-yard long. And Sione Vaki, who had 4 catches for 60 yards, on top of 22 yards rushing. Isaiah Williams also had 11 yards rushing. And he returned a punt late in that game.
Okay, so that's a +2.
Let me see what his return was. And Sione Vaki also returned for 9 yards. And Isaiah Williams returned 3 total punts for 41 total yards. And a 20-yard return, I believe, was that last return in the game that ended up setting up field goal range. So both of these guys,
so there you go.
Isaiah Williams, I want to say he went to Illinois. So if you watch a lot of Big Ten football, as we do, probably had heard his name called at some point. I don't really remember, but
I can't say I do.
Probably he did.
Yep.
Sione Vaki, I don't remember where he went, but he was sort of, I think he was pitched as like running back safety, which is a very weird combination, but basically he was your everyman. He could return footballs. You could put him in the backfield. You could put him as a DB. You could put him all over the field because he's speed. Yeah. He's speed, and he can keep up with the best of them.
Yep.
I think one of these two guys will surprise people on the offensive side of the football. I don't even know if I have to
write this down for the record.
Yeah, write this down for the record. Sione Vaki or Isaiah Williams are going to have very good years. And I mean, look, the Detroit offense is insulated, right? These guys don't have to worry about having to go off as starters. Sione Vaki does not have to worry about.
I was going to say they're probably
he's got Montgomery and Gibbs in front of him, right?
Yeah.
Isaiah
Or-
Williams, he's got J-Mo and St. Brown in front of him, and Laporta, if you want to add that.
I was
as
gonna
far
say
as
too,
receiving.
he's probably like a receiver, like 3 or 4.
Right, but that's like the best situation for these kind of guys, as far as I'm concerned, because look, they did go. I mean, Sione or Isaiah Williams went undrafted. He was a free agent and Sione Vaki, he went in like the 3rd or 4th round. But that's like
Okay.
that's around where Amon-Ra went. Like this guy that kind of nobody really seemed to pay much attention to.
And then boom.
And now with the new kickoff rule, and look, I have
Yeah.
not been particularly a fan of it as it has played out in the
It's
preseason.
interesting.
But
Yep.
I mean, like Sione Vaki could find himself returning kicks. Back, we had Khalil Dorsey or Khalil Freeman returning kicks. Maybe you take Khalil Dorsey, you move him out of that spot, and you put Sione Vaki in, or they just share the role, right? Like
or
it's
with
not
Khalif
like
Raymond too, because he plays, receiver sometimes.
precisely
heard his name
like
called
it's like you're just adding to the room to where now it's guys are competing for that 3rd spot, and that's only going to make guys better. And furthermore, in the case of Isaiah Williams or Sione Vaki, you have these guys that can play special teams, and this team, like Dave Phipp, the special teams coordinator for the Lions. The Lions have had some very interesting special teams with the trick plays. Like I wouldn't be surprised if a fake pass or a fake punt pass goes to Isaiah Williams or Sione Vaki, or a fake run. I mean, like we had Jalen Reeves-Maybin run a fake punt run, and it worked. Like you just add these kind of guys.
A maniac.
Yeah, right. Like Dave Phipp and Dan Campbell. I don't think I've ever seen a staff fake punts as much as this staff. Like,
I'm pretty sure they hold a record. They have to.
It's like the fake punt is only slightly more successful than the fake field goal, but both are not particularly successful. But like honestly, I want to say last year they only failed on 1 fake punt. Like
out of
because they did it against the Cowboys, it worked out. They did it against the Chiefs, it worked out, and then they did it against Packers, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But like, hey, you know what? If you're 2 for 3 on a fake punt on a play that's probably not going to work,
66%.
Like I'll be like, all right, cool, works for me.
Right.
And it's funny because teams see it coming at this point too. Like they're like, okay, there's always that possibility, and they fail to stop it. And if you just add those kind of skill guys, the Isaiah Williams of the world, the Sione Vakis of the world, it's only going to be harder.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, write it down for the record. We'll see. 'Cause, I mean that always happens with every team. So I think, obviously as the Lions expert here, I wouldn't be surprised if these names are pretty well known.
I sure hope
Couple
so.
games in the season.
Sure hope so. How was Chargers preseason? I mean, I saw they lost last week, but
Poopy.
Not good.
No, I think we've scored a total of 12 points across 2 games.
Well, that's not desirable. Did the other guys score less than 12?
No. We lost to the Seahawks, I think 16-3 in the first game, and then to the Rams it was like,
and that was a home game.
Yeah. It's Easton Stick. It was 13-9 against the Rams.
Okay. So that's less than ideal.
Yeah, and I understand this is preseason, all that. I mean, for example, the Broncos beat the Packers 27-2.
Right.
So I mean,
Bo Nix. Hey, look, let it be known. Like I didn't quite understand why he ended up dropping as low as he ended up dropping.
But Denver's pretty damn happy about it.
Yeah, no, surely. I mean, I think they probably got a pretty good quarterback. Again, it's preseason. I want to say Bryce Young had a good preseason too, and
I think he did.
Yeah. I don't know if he had a car seat at that point, so maybe that was what it was.
You raised a good point, but anyway, have not won a single game. It's not looking good because I think Justin Herbert is still injured.
Well,
I think he re-injured something. I don't know. To be quite honest, I don't follow the preseason because I don't care until it hits regular season.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I just look at the kind of like general, we lost, or
now to be fair, Seth, you do have a real baseball team, so this is true. That helps, right?
Yeah.
I haven't had a real baseball team in 10 years. The preseason is basically my like gateway drug out of baseball.
This is why we flip, because I've been kind of keeping up, in the Padres, like me and my friends like go back and forth, and we're just like sending each other stuff on on Instagram, the socials, whatever, and just
Mm.
Jackson Merrill is our Lord and Savior.
He, I mean, look,
He's
the
pretty damn good.
Padres, like
Everyone's doing
I
great,
like everything is going
It's
up.
going
I
great.
mean, right now,
Yeah.
they've won 7 out of their last 10.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
talking wild card race, by the way, and they like. I mean, you might not want to hear this, but shout out to the D-backs as well, who have also clawed
Yeah.
their way back into it. But the Padres, I feel, have gone under the radar a little bit. And I talked about this last week. Like, they have a really they upgraded their bullpen at the trade deadline. I would not be shocked to see a Padres run in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
I just on principle, I cannot believe in the Brewers. Every time that
Those
I
dudes
want
from
to believe in
Milwaukee.
the Brewers, I don't. And
Yeah.
then the Braves have sort of fallen out of faith for me. They've just sort of slowly deteriorated either through
I mean, yeah,
injury or
dealing with them, the Phillies. I mean,
yeah, the Phillies are
Dod-
scary. The Phillies
Do-
and the Dodgers are scary.
the
But
Dodgers though, we did win. When was that? 2 weeks ago.
let's take a look at the schedule here.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. We won our series against the Dodgers.
It might
think.
not have been 2 weeks. Oh, actually, let's go back
Maybe.
to July.
Maybe it was in July.
You
Maybe it was a month
did.
ago.
You swept a 2-game set
Yeah.
against the Dodgers at home. So, I mean,
But still, I mean, you put those into
but
perspective.
that was
Obviously,
also after a streak of winning, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, and then a loss to the Orioles, and then 2 straight against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Like, the Padres have certainly arrived one way or the other, and it's being led by a lot
Hey,
of
you know
guys.
what?
Manny Machado,
yes,
Erickson
indeed.
Profar, who has come out of absolutely nowhere.
Right,
to
and
bat
Jackson Merrill.
close to 300,
Those three.
857.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson Merrill has been a stud. Jake Cronenworth has also
Somehow-
provided some pop.
Somehow
Like-
Cronenworth is doing something.
It's something when
It's- yeah.
Fernando Tatis, who is
Mhm.
sort of the face of the franchise, Jake Cronenworth has more home runs than him.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a guy who's
It's-
got 20 home runs on the season.
Which is crazy. And you look at our record and you're like, wow.
Yeah, they are. They're
know?
a very. I'm looking forward to getting to watch them when the Tigers play them in a couple of weeks here.
Mhm.
Just because it's like, for one, it's I like seeing teams that I don't really get to see often, and a lot of these National League and
Yeah.
West Coast teams. Naturally, now we get to see them play, but usually you don't really get to see them play.
Right.
And as far as NL teams if I'm putting in a dark horse to make a run here, I'm putting the Padres all the way, and that's not me just trying to be a homer. I mean, I'm not a Padres fan, but
No,
I'm like
no.
a tangential Padres fan. It's like
Yeah.
I want them to succeed so that Seth can have fun, right?
Yes. For
Seth
once
doesn't get to
in
have
my-
fun with his sports teams a lot of the time.
No, it's true. I don't.
Like-
Because somehow everyone dies.
Everyone dies, or the team historically has just never been all that
Or
good.
it's
The
just
Padres are one of them, right?
Yeah,
Like
yep.
they're one of the few teams that have not won a World Series.
Yep.
And I don't know that this is going to be their year because unfortunately the Phillies and the Dodgers are both incredibly scary.
Those teams-
However, the Phillies have cooled off a little bit as of late. They're 5 for their last 10. And
But-
they didn't really make a whole lot of moves in the trade deadline. I don't
Mhm.
even know if they did anything at all, which I don't know if that was just they figured they had nowhere to upgrade or whatever. I mean, they have the
Yeah.
highest, or not the highest record, the highest record by percentage in the National
They do.
League.
Mhm.
So they're feeling good about themselves, but I guess I don't know.
We'll see.
If it's Padres Phillies in the playoffs, I don't expect that to be a short series. I don't know who's going to win, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be 4 games and you're out for San Diego. I just don't. I find
I
it
don't believe
hard to
that either. Yeah.
And it'll be a rematch of the NLCS a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it would.
So that would be kind of nice. I'm sure
Mhm.
Padres fans, maybe they could get those guys to sing the song again.
Oh, the
The Phillies gonna lose.
yeah.
Oh man, I need to add that to the drop board. Oh
Yeah.
my.
Philly's gonna lose, and then they didn't. But
They did
it's
a
okay.
little dance, and then
Mhm.
I cursed the pod. Like the next year, like after that, it was like
was
Padres record
terrible.
since this song dropped, like 40 and 106 or something. It's like what?
It was
What did
terrible.
they do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you know
I'm
those
gonna look.
people?
Well,
Are they like your friends'
Well,
dads?
Well, there was I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm gonna look up the Padres Philly song. I gotta find it
It's
because
deliciously bad.
because
It's so good.
it's really cringe. But then I know guys who did. There was an LA Dodgers diss track that they did.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah,
So this is like a
and I
group. This is like a known. Is
so
this like
like
local
the
celebrities in the San Diego
the
area?
guys that did the Philly song are like some group of dads who I have no idea. But
Okay.
there's a group of guys who I knew. One of the guys went to high school, and him and his like brothers did this like whole LA Dodgers diss track based on California Love.
Yeah, girl, I'm
And
out here in these streets.
Kamala, please.
yeah, it's something. It's a whole 2 minutes and 17 seconds. I just found it.
Wait, hold on. I think I actually have heard the
It's an
Dodgers diss to California Love. Isn't that
yeah,
like Slam Diego
yeah.
is gonna
I think
beach or something like
yeah, I
that?
think so. Yep. I haven't heard it
Oh man,
in a long time.
that is tremendous.
'Cause
I
yeah,
love it.
that was when we played the Dodgers in the playoffs and we beat them.
Oh, that must have been
It was
just like,
great.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they
it's
did get
Slam
their little
Diego Love.
coronavirus trophy, so
They did.
and they're like, what was it, like a two game season or something like
I
that?
think so. Yeah,
Mom said it's my turn with the World Series
I
trophy.
know. It's my turn now. But yeah, no, I know these guys who did at least one of them who did that LA Dodgers diss track.
That is amazing. Seth
Yeah.
knows a celebrity.
I know of
We need to.
celebrity
Can
of
we get him on the show? If the Padres make a run, do you think it's possible we could get him on the show?
that would be kinda cool. I could reach
That
out
would be
to him.
hysterical.
I'll be like, "Hey, you
Like,
wanna do a song?
play like a
Do another
live
one?"
a live BS Sports performance.
Yeah,
Oh my,
it
this
could
would
be
be
a first.
fantastic. All
Yeah.
right, Fernando, Manny Machado, and the boys. We need
Just
you
keep
guys to go
winning.
on a run. Just keep winning. I need
Yep.
you guys to make the World Series because we need to get this guy on the show.
Yeah,
That would be tremendous.
that would be something,
Speaking
right?
of the show, we got to move to the American League,
Mhm.
where
The
it's a little bit
Tigers
less interesting. The Tigers are kind of bad.
Oh,
As far as the wild card goes, the Yankees
the
are in
Yankees.
first place.
The Bears.
However, the Yankees have lost 2 in a row thanks to
See,
yours truly, the Detroit
yeah,
Tigers, and on national television.
that's
Uh,
right.
n- uh, Meanwhile, uh, the
Well
propaganda wing of the New York Yankees, otherwise known as
well,
ESPN, was
yeah,
like, "Oh my gosh, Aaron Judge! I can't believe he caught that fly out.
yeah,
Oh, David Cohn, can you tell me how great it must have been to wear those pinstripe?" Meanwhile,
no,
Parker Meadows just hit the game-winning RBI,
yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
they're like too busy. Like, where's Juan Soda?
They're like,
Can we get
"Oh
Jazz
my"
Chisholm to come on the broadcast?
right.
I say this as someone who doesn't even hate the Yankees. I was a little shocked by
Well,
that game.
there's some the media, Yankees, they do that with the
Yeah,
Lakers
right.
and the
You know what I need
NBA.
to get? And I was thinking about this. I need to get oh my gosh, I don't know what her name is, but the lady who does the radio for the Yankees,
Mhm,
when I don't know if you've ever seen this. When Roger Clemens like announced he was coming back to the Yankees, do you know the
mhm.
story? He's
I
in Georgia.
don't.
Okay, so Roger Clemens like announced he was coming back to the Yankees, and he did it in the middle of a game.
Mm,
And he was in like the booth with George Steinbrenner, who was then alive.
right.
And the radio call for this by this woman is like one of the most disgusting things. It's like it was like it put like the Mahomes glazing of like your average
Into
NFL
a whole
broadcast to
'nother
shame. It was oh my Roger Clemens oh my goodness gracious, and it's so good. It's so good.
it
It's so
sounds
good.
like
It's
it.
bad, but
Yeah,
yeah. So anyway, as far as sleeper teams in the wild card right now, I
yeah,
have to put the Cleveland Guardians. They have one
mm,
of the
yeah,
most shut down bullpens in baseball. Like if they get into their bullpen, you are not scoring. And in the
yeah, and
postseason, that matters a lot.
for sure.
However, it is a Cleveland baseball team, so that is really where I have to hold. Like you haven't won
That's
since the 40s,
since ever,
right? Like
basically.
it's not good. It's not good
It's
when
not good, but
your best highlight in recent memory is
is
Rajai Davis hitting a tying home run in a game you end up losing against the Cubs. That's not great, but I
not.
do actually like the Guardians as a team. You got Stephen Kwan, who's having a great year as
Yeah,
usual. Jose Ramirez having a great year, and obviously the pitching speaks for itself.
yeah, and I mean, on top of the Central League, and I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even realize I haven't been keeping, up enough apparently. But the AL Central,
Best
72
division
wins,
in baseball.
70 wins, 70 wins, and then well, the White Sox, they don't count.
Yeah.
But
The
they're
White
all
Sox,
within.
look.
It's all right. They died.
Yeah.
Pay your respects in
Yeah,
whatever way you see
please.
fit. But
Pay your respects to the White
it's
Sox in the chat or
it's
in the
like
comment
crazy.
section.
They're within. I mean, obviously the Tigers are like a 1 game out of 10, but like they're
Right.
all within. The top 3 are within 2 games.
Right.
Or 2.5, I guess technically, but that's like insane. It's insane.
Yeah, the Central has really come alive, and it's
Yeah.
the Royals with Bobby Witt and Salvador Perez. I don't know how Salvador Perez is still playing baseball at a high level. That guy is
Well,
unbelievable. He
yeah.
won the last World Series that the Royals won 10 years ago.
Yeah, and
he's still an elite
still kicking it.
catcher. He's still like an all-star caliber player.
Yeah.
And Bobby Witt Jr. might be the best player in the American League outside of Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
The Twins for me though are the odd one out because
Okay.
they didn't really do a whole lot at the deadline. I think they made one trade,
And I mean, they're 5-5 in the last 10.
but they're just kind of like okay.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, they seem to beat the Royals a lot. My brother, who is a Royals fan, can't stand the Twins because every time they play them, the Royals lose.
They lose.
And I don't know. I don't really believe. I know they're the third wild card team, so it's like, yeah, it's really not me saying much to say I don't really believe in them in the playoffs, but I don't really believe that much in them in the playoffs. But on to the Tigers though, because you mentioned them. I'm of a certain opinion about the Tigers that is both unpopular and popular, which is that I like when they win, but I'm upset when they win. Because here's what happens, right? When the Tigers are on back-to-back series where they won.
Okay.
They beat the Mariners at home where the first game they scored like 1 billion runs. It was great. And
per usual.
Then they go to the Yankees on the road.
Yep.
Or not on the road.
New York.
At home. And I'm going into the series like, okay, this will probably bring us back to life.
Yep.
We had a bad weekend last weekend against the Giants, so surely we'll have that. And we don't really.
Yeah.
We shut them out on Saturday, which was a big surprise.
Yeah.
And then
definitely.
we walk them off on national television in Williamsport in the Little League Classic. And now we have a stretch here where it's all teams that we are at least at the same level of in record. We have the Cubs tonight. We have the same record as the Cubs.
Yep.
And that's a 3-game set. We have a 4-game set against the White Sox. I mean, do they even play baseball there? And then you come home against the Angels. Those are all teams that are close to, if not completely out of the wild card race in their respective situations. The Cubs are the closest team to a wild card.
I was going to say Angels and Sox aren't even going to be.
Oh, the Angels game 2 is Italian Heritage Night.
Oh.
I did not know that they even had that.
Well.
So yeah, maybe I'll have to show up on a Wednesday night.
Maybe you'll be.
I wonder if they'll send me free tickets. But
probably.
No, I mean this road stand in Chicago. We could come out of it above 500. Which the idea that the Tigers would end up having a winning record, especially after selling at the deadline like they did, where they get rid of their second best pitcher in Flaherty, they get rid of one of their better relievers in Andrew Chafin, they get rid of Mark Canha, who was not all that good to begin with, but he was a veteran in the room.
Yep.
To say I would be impressed by that, especially given where it is coming from, and that's sort of where I'm getting at. It's not like Javi Baez, who, to be fair, actually did have some good hits over the past couple of
Javi.
Couple of games. Yeah, he decided he wanted to play baseball again.
Yeah.
But it's not the Javi Baez's or the I don't even my point. There's no real veterans on this team. It's a really young team right now. Let me actually pull up their starting lineup tonight.
In instances, that all is like context. Obviously, you want some vets, but still, like in the context, that's looking good. I think. You know, you're trending in, a younger direction. Hopefully, which fingers crossed, you build up these young guys, and then you get them to a point where you guys are winning. So
right. Let me just run down this lineup for you. You got Parker Meadows, who is let me pull up each of them and then give you their ages. Parker Meadows is your leadoff guy. He's 24 years old. Riley Green.
Yep.
He is 23 years old and was an all-star this year. He's coming back from injury. He's clearly a guy. I mean, he's probably the most well-known Tiger.
He's a dude
across the nation. Yeah, he's a dude.
That's right. He's a dude.
You got Matt Vierling, who is 27, so entering his prime. He's okay. You have Kerry Carpenter, who is 26 years old, close to entering his prime as well.
Yep.
You have Colt Keith, who, frankly, since the month of June, has been one of the best second basemen in baseball.
That
I'm
name
talking
is pretty
in the
popular.
300s as far as his batting average, and he's 23 years old and starting to come alive here.
Yeah.
You have Spencer Torkelson, who I don't know. I mean, he's trying to play himself out of bust mode right now, but he's 24 years old, so he has time in theory. You have Jace Young, who delivered the game-tying RBI on Sunday night. He's 23 years old, and so far has batted 300 since being called up a couple of days ago. And then you got Dylan Dingler, the catcher, who is 25 years old, close to entering his prime. And then you got Javi Baez, who is 100 years old and sucks. But that is
that's a young.
Basically, 8 of the guys in your lineup are potentially future guys. Are guys that could be on the team within the next couple of years. And
I was gonna say younger than 25.
In theory, could only get better.
Yeah, or younger than even 26, 27.
Yeah, right. You got guys. I mean, the oldest guy out of that, I want to say, was Matt Vierling, who was 27. That is a positive sign, right? Is that to say, Dylan Dingler is going to be Pudge Rodriguez? No, that's not to say that. But it is to say it's at least Dylan Dingler or at least Colt Keith. I can imagine a scenario where those guys are on playoff teams with the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't say that earlier this year. And that's what's so frustrating is that's well, why didn't we just have these guys? And what's going to be said is, well, they weren't ready. Okay. You're playing guys like Zach McKinstry, or you're playing guys like Gio Urshela or whoever who do not have a future here. No shot that they ever have a future here. Over a guy in Dylan Dingler or a guy in Colt Keith or Riley Green or whoever.
Right.
Who do have a future. Now, I'm not saying you got to just call them up just for the sake of it. But at least now, when I watch, I could be seeing, the next insert good position player. I could be in Jace Young. I could be seeing the next Nolan Arenado. In Dylan Dingler, I could be seeing the next Will Smith or whatever. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but at least now I'm coming at it let the kids play, right? That's what I was told. We don't want to block these guys, right? All right,
then
we're not blocked. Show me what you got.
Yep, exactly. So I think it's a trend in the right direction.
Yeah, it's fun. I can have fun watching Tiger games, even if the result is not what I want. But look, if at the end of this, the Tigers are a 500 team or an above 500 team, if we come back this time next week and the Tigers are
above,
let's just see,
5.
They're 60. What are they? 61 and 64. I want to say something like that.
Yeah, they're 61, 64.
If by this time next week, let's say I'm willing to say they can win both these series against the Cubbies and the White Sox. So that's 2 and 3 wins. So that's 5 extra wins. If they're 66 and heck, they could be 66 and 66. I don't know. And they got the Angels that night.
That's
to say that I would not be pretty happy about that, given the selling, is completely foolish. It would be foolish for me not to be happy about that, and it would be foolish for Tigers fans to not at least acknowledge that that's a thing. So and they're just showing Javi Baez highlights when he was with the Cubs. It only makes me sad. Why this is this would be if they did Albert Pujols' greatest hits when he was with the Angels or something like that, and then you can see highlights of him hitting against the Angels or something. It's this is not fun. This doesn't make me feel good. This makes me feel awful. Watch now, Javi Baez is gonna go 3 for 4 tonight with 2 home runs and a triple, and he's just gonna make me look stupid.
Yeah,
he does that. Yeah, and
he's in that.
This is not a joke. He will unironically like as soon as I like bury him or I say something really awful,
Then he just
he'll just like have a really good
Well, he
night, and
listens
it'll be
to
like,
you.
"Ha! See,
Yeah.
don't let Javi Baez get hot."
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then he just comes at me, and he's just
Yeah, girl,
That's
I'm out
it.
here in these streets.
That's
Kamala,
right.
please.
Yeah.
I will
Kamala.
never not think that's funny.
Something
So
alright.
yeah, Tiger baseball might be interesting. That's what I got to say about that.
That's the overall.
Yeah.
Now,
To jump into a little NFL off-season stuff. Briefly, I want to talk about some of these things. JJ McCarthy out for the season officially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very sad to see for Vikings fans. He had the really good game in the preseason, and then seemingly out of nowhere, it just this knee surgery comes in, ends his rookie season.
and
I
that's
don't
it.
know though, like what this is. I mean, it's hard to extrapolate with any of these sorts of things if this is if this would or is going to affect whether he is a good pro. I've been consistent throughout the whole way that I did not really understand why he was going in the first round outside of the fact that obviously he won the national championship.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess for me, it's like the Vikings are tanking for Cooper Flag. Like they're
But you never know,
gonna
they
try to
could
win
be.
the lottery. I hear that Connor Bedard is gonna be really good.
Yes.
Like,
Right.
so
Yeah, you
it
never know.
sucks. I mean, nothing really
That's
else
really
to
it.
say.
Yeah.
It sucks, and you never want to see anybody get hurt. But certainly you don't want to see a rookie because that
Yeah.
is gonna just derail.
Because he
your
could have been
entire
fun to
season.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
right.
could
I
be
mean,
fun.
like he has a lot of weapons there, and now
Yeah.
it's just the Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins show.
Yep.
Which is less
Poor
interesting.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, right. Like that's like I applaud him. Did you watch the wide receiver documentary on Netflix?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay, I watched it, and he's a fairly likable guy off the field, it seems. And so, like when I see that he signs with the Vikings here, and it's like, okay, like I'm gonna be good. I got Kirk. You know, we're and then no, you don't have Kirk.
No, you don't.
Okay, and he's like, all right, that kind of sucks. And
You
then
get JJ.
they're like, hey, you got JJ. He's like, all right, you know what? JJ, all right. I kind of and no, actually, you don't have JJ.
No, you
Like,
have
okay,
Sam.
what do I got? You got Sam Darnold. I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
He's like Michael Scott. Hold on, where is it?
I'm gonna kill myself!
I'm going to kill myself, and it's
Your fault. That's what he's saying to the GM.
That's what he said to Kevin McConnell and the GM of the Vikings.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill myself, and it's
That's
your
your
fault.
fault.
But
Man.
the other news of the week was
Yes.
Matthew Judon traded to the Falcons. Patriots get a third-round pick for Judon. So Judon is obviously a stud, but the fact that he was traded to Falcons, that isn't really what interests me.
No.
I don't know if you saw this report that he was presented with the option to go to the Falcons or to the Bears, and he chose the Falcons. Now, this flies in the face to me of all of what we really have been told in the offseason, which is that the Bears are a young team. They're exciting. Caleb Williams. They got all these offensive weapons. Their defense.
Have you seen their
is gonna-
preseason?
Right. Like they're like. I mean, it's
Caleb
and
Williams
then you
looks
look
like
at
he's
the
gonna be fun to watch.
right, and then you look at the Falcons,
And you're like,
and you're like, well,
Kirk
you got
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, or maybe Michael Penix, or maybe
both.
Taylor Heineke, or whoever. Like the Falcons just feel, and you bring back Raheem Morris, who I don't know if he's a good coach. I mean, to be fair, I don't really know if what's his name, Eberflus is a good coach either. But like, I don't know. That just sort of struck me. Am I
Yeah.
crazy?
Somewhat. Yeah. I mean, because like, you would think comparing those two teams, the Bears would be where you go. Just
Right.
for it doesn't even matter. Like, it's preseason, whatever. But for the like, I don't know. I think on paper the Bears are a really good team now because of getting Keenan Allen, getting Caleb Williams, getting like all these guys in the offseason. You know,
DeAndre
there's just a few
Swift.
they got DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
That offense
Lions
is gonna,
legend.
he's
I wonder if his leg is going to stay on this time.
well, we'll see. Probably not. But yeah, it's odd to me because you compare those two on paper, and clearly Chicago's where you go.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe he wants to live in Atlanta.
my feeling about this
I
sort
don't
of
know.
thing, and then there's also this weird stuff where it's like he's not necessarily committed to signing with Atlanta. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like
I've heard
he
that too,
might
like
end
from
up
weird rumors.
going back to New England, and it's like,
I'm like,
what is
well,
is like? I usually think of this in a couple of ways. It's
Mhm.
either player is in a bad spot, because if you're two teams, like regardless of what you think of the Bears or the Falcons, if the two teams that are willing to get you are at the best kind of mid teams, that tells me that the good teams either don't have the space for you or
Or
the ability to get you,
yeah.
or they don't want you.
Yeah.
And to me, it's usually the latter. Like, if the Chiefs or the 49ers or the Eagles or the Lions really wanted Matthew Judon, they would have got Matthew Judon.
Yeah.
Like, they would have found a way. They would have traded, picks from like whatever, if they really wanted him. But they didn't really want him, or at least not for whatever price the Patriots were asking for.
Which apparently was a single third-round pick.
Right. And look, and people always make fun of any trade whenever, because I've said this before. Anytime there's a trade, the team getting the player is always portrayed as the winner. Always. Without fail. Like, minus like the, what was the big, minus like the Ricky Williams trade, or what was the other one? The Cowboys traded the running back. What's his name? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I don't know what his name is.
Is
like
Zeke?
No, not Zeke.
Not
This was
Zeke.
like the 90s. This was what built the dynasty in the 90s. Just look up Cowboys trade. I think it was with the Vikings.
Herschel Walker?
Herschel Walker. Like, they got like a billion picks for it. Like, minus like those kinds of trades where it is so clear that the team getting the player overpaid. 9 times out of 10, if you go on social media, or you listen to sports radio, or you look at the sports publications, they're going to paint the team that got the player as the winner. 100%. Like,
and that's it. That's across like every single league.
Yeah, this is not an NFL thing. This is every single sport.
It's NBA, pretty hardcore.
Yeah, right. And it's like,
yeah,
I don't blame them, right? Because picks are, it's no different than prospects in baseball. It's lottery tickets, right? You don't even know where that third round pick is going to end up.
Who
it
knows?
Could be the last pick in the third round, but it's a
or
third round pick.
Get lucky.
And then even further, right? That third round pick could turn out to be, I don't know, pick a famous player picked in the third round.
Yeah,
Dak
exactly.
Prescott. I don't know. Like, it could be any.
Insert player.
Find a player that was picked in the third round or later, and and so my point in saying this is that, like, maybe Matthew Judon is
ultimately
like not as good as we think he is, or maybe he is really good and everybody was too unwilling to get him. Yeah, right. Everybody was sleeping on the job.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's
weird stuff like this, and that's the stuff that I glob onto when I'm trying to not just think of commentary, but just like try to understand what the mindset is of the teams involved in the deals. Because I've always said this as well, is that like teams don't make deals to lose the deal, right? Like they think it's going to work out for them, right? Like they are going into that deal thinking this is the best deal we can get.
Yep.
Whether or not they are right to think that really won't be known until a couple of years.
That remains up to discussion.
Right.
So.
Yeah, like if their third round pick ends up being, I don't know, literally most third round picks, basically.
Insert third round pick.
Yeah, right. If their third round pick ends up being a punter, then yeah, it probably was not great.
Then you lose.
Or, shout out the Lions trading Darius Slay and drafting Jeff Okudah. That was less good. That was not a great idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, thought it was interesting. Wanted to talk about it. So now,
and here we go.
Seth, college football begins this week.
It does.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk.
But
does anybody, and I mean this, does anybody care about Delaware State versus Hawaii? This is this Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. So if you're up at midnight on Saturday night, and it's literally not even on TV, but it's on ESPN, like it's on the little thing. Does anybody care about this game?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike. I'm going to say no.
No, I don't think people in Hawaii care about the game. You want to know why? Because they're in Hawaii. Okay, they can go outside. Like, go outside and look, there's a beach and there's a dolphin and there's beautiful women. Why would I
Why-
watch Delaware State? Why would I watch the Hornets take on the Rainbow Warriors? Delaware State's probably living the dream, right? They're on the
Probably.
East Coast. They can take a weekend trip in late
Hawaii.
August to Hawaii. But that's not the headliner
It's
game
not.
of the week.
But
Obviously, the game of the week is Florida State, Georgia Tech in Ireland, in Dublin, which, okay,
Will be interesting.
I'm not going to be a hater. But,
But
like,
you are.
why is Florida State and Georgia Tech playing in Ireland, right?
Yeah, in Dublin.
We have a team whose nickname is the Fighting Irish.
Yep.
They should, like, I don't care if it's cliche. I don't care if it gets old. They should be playing in Ireland week 0 every year.
I agree with.
That would be fun, right? Like,
That'd be
at
cool.
least the people in Ireland would have some connection. It'd be like, all right, yeah, these guys are the Fighting Irish. Like, they
Notre Dame.
named themselves after our people. But, like,
But no.
no, the Florida State, Georgia Tech. I was actually talking to a friend about this. Like, I get it when the NFL goes worldwide. I don't really get it when college football goes worldwide.
I don't either, because that's it makes it because you know you're looking at NFL. You know, the Super Bowl is like
Yeah, it's like a global thing.
that
right?
is
Like,
a global thing,
right?
and I understand too. Maybe the NCAA championship is, but that's got to be on such a smaller scale.
Right. Well,
And these fans too, like they're schools from an area. From it's like say MSU in Michigan, you know, University of Michigan, were to play in like England or something.
right. You're right.
The fans are all
some
here.
Michigan State and U of M people living in England now, but like that's
Maybe
like
three.
maybe like 3 total people, and one of them is like a exchange student. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So that's what confuses me about like just even like you know to some extent to the NFL games because you know soccer, which they call their football
right.
in Europe, especially in like Ireland, England, the Great Britain area sphere is like man, maybe I'm wrong, is way huger.
Oh no,
bigger,
yeah, it's
huger,
not even
whatever.
close. Right? Like,
Yeah, and
soccer
so
is more popular outside
I'm
of the United States in every
everywhere.
single country. It's like the most popular sport.
So I'm confused on why they're trying to market out there. Maybe there's a
I
secret
mean, I guess
market we
it's
don't know
like
about.
low. I mean, I wouldn't say low risk because you're flying guys overseas. You know, but
still,
low
it's just
risk in terms of
strange.
like, well, like, I mean, if we get a bunch of football fans out of spreading the game outside of the United States,
Maybe they pay.
they get
you know,
more money, right? Like more
I
people are
guess.
going to buy ESPN Plus to watch SEC games or to watch
here's the thing.
whatever.
Why are we marketing that with FSU and Georgia Tech?
Right. Like it's like I have a similar qualm with the NFL where it's like, why are we putting bad games in Europe?
Over
but then
there.
it's like we have this problem, right? It's like you can't put the
can't put
national
good games
championship
over there.
game in Jamaica, right?
You can't.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
But you also can't put the worst game in
You can't
Jamaica
put
or
North
whatever.
Dakota State versus
Yeah, right.
whoever
You
you
can't
want.
put the Jackrabbits up against the Bison, right? You can't do it.
do that. That's not allowed.
But you also can't really do Bama versus Georgia. Like,
yeah,
So
Because
it's
people
like you
would-
have to find this weird middle ground, and maybe
see-
top 10 Florida State against unranked Georgia Tech is the middle ground because you still
Maybe.
you got a top 10 team. You got
Yeah.
Florida State's going to be competing for the ACC this year.
oh yeah.
Like,
But I'm still like, I don't know, because it goes back to the original question: why even do it?
right.
Because you got to like do this whole like middle ground thing. You can't have good teams against each other. You can't have bad teams. Like no one's gonna care.
Right.
Why do it at all?
Yeah, right. It just seems
But
like
it's I'm sure it's money, but you know.
well, yeah, obviously. I mean,
Still.
like the networks are going to,
Yeah. Is this
ESPN
game?
Britain
It's
or
on
whatever.
ESPN,
It's
right?
on ESPN. It's a national broadcast. Pretty sure it's going to be, Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit, all the guys.
Probably.
And like,
It's just strange though. You know.
yeah, no, I guess like my big thing about this is that like, are people in Ireland, are they going to be like, you know what? I'm a Florida State fan now.
I'm a big
Like, at least with
big
Notre
fan
Dame,
of those
again.
Floridians. You know.
Yeah, right. Like, but at least with Notre Dame, it's like, okay,
It's
I
in
can
the
get why
name.
someone who is Irish would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go root for them. In the same way that, frankly, if you're from like Sparta in Greece, I could get why you would like be like, yeah, sure, I'll root for Michigan State. I get it.
They're
Like,
Spartans.
you want to talk about cool? That would be cool if they did a Michigan State game in Sparta. Like that would be cool.
Like
in the same way that a Notre Dame game in Ireland is cool.
Yeah.
Florida State and Georgia Tech in Ireland,
Makes no sense.
I don't really get it. Like it doesn't like do the Florida State game in like I don't know. Like don't they already play? Isn't Florida State already located where the Seminoles were?
Yeah.
Isn't that like so it's like
So
okay, like you're already there. Like that's I'm sorry, you're limited to your geography. I'm sorry.
I just thought of a great idea. Just don't do it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like that idea.
But
But there's also SMU and Nevada.
Hmm.
I don't have anything else to say on that. Montana State, New Mexico. That's going to be on FS1.
I think that's a rivalry.
You think so?
No, I don't. I'm just making
you think
stuff
Montana State and New Mexico go back to like 1801? They're
Yeah.
playing football and like
on their horses.
You know, yeah,
shooting each other.
that was their side job.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't
you
know.
had guys majoring in like
Seriously though, like-
philosophy and
Right.
business management, and then
And you
that
got
next
the-
night just going
got-
in and
Yep.
playing football. Yeah,
But it's like,
but
yeah, it's just a weird batch of week zeros.
it's weird. It's weird, and I also don't really like that we call it week 0 because it's
I
not
don't
week
either.
0.
It's week
It's
1.
like this is week 1. Like it's
Yeah.
even categorized that way on ESPN's website. It's just week 1, but they play an extra game. I don't
Who knows?
I don't get it.
Whatever.
Yeah. So
CFP.
technically it's starting. I'm excited for that. I almost certainly actually I don't think I actually will be watching that whole game because the Lions play at 1 and we'll be live reacting to that game. So I'll
Yeah.
watch the first hour
But
and then I'll
That's
probably
it.
be bored out of my mind and be like, all right, now I'm gonna be bored out of my mind, but at least it's a team I care about.
at least it's the Lions.
So
Anyway,
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. But yeah.
Spartans
College
in 10
football
days.
is back.
Spartans in 10 days.
Spartans in 10 days. Are you gonna be at that game?
I will be.
All right. We're gonna have a live on the field report after the game.
Yep.
We're
Gonna
gonna see Aiden Childs, the chili pepper,
the,
live.
the chili pepper.
Is that what
Hopefully
people
they.
call him. That's what I'm calling him.
I'm down for that. I really hope that we have a good season. We'll find out.
It can't be worse.
That is true.
I've said that to myself far too many times, and I know that it probably will be worse. No,
No.
I can't.
That's our. I think
I can't.
that's the
I
ground.
can't. I'm hurt. We're gonna move along.
Yep. All right.
Seth, it is that time
Yep.
of the show. Everybody's talking about it. I don't know if
Oh.
you've heard about it. Everybody's talking about it on the streets. They're telling me. I mean, they're like the vice president.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
They're just
Wow.
telling me about the
Yeah.
picks
The picks.
and how everybody loves it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
You know what?
Hold on, I can't hear you. Why are you like your audio is speak.
Speak.
Okay, there we go. I don't know why I was having a hard time hearing you there.
I don't either.
All right. So, preseason week 3, final week of preseason. Everybody is uncaring. Nobody cares anymore. So, we're just going to have fun.
I think you're gonna really
Colts.
enjoy how I make these picks. By the way.
I'm looking forward to this actually. Colts at the Bengals. This is going to be on Amazon Prime, Seth.
Is it?
Prime time game. Yeah,
Wow.
prime time. Colts Bengals. Who you got?
I got Bengals.
You got the Bengals, the Kitty Cats. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll go with the Bengals, hometown team. I don't know if Joe Burrow is going to play at all, but yeah, sure, why not? Give me the Cats.
Yeah. Sure.
The Bears visiting Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Seth, who you got?
The Bears.
The Bears. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm
Yeah.
gonna diverge a little bit.
Smart.
I'm assuming Patrick Mahomes. Actually, I don't know if they're gonna play again because they only
You might
play
do
one
another
game.
behind the back.
They might do another behind the back. Did you know that was like the greatest play ever in
I did.
NFL history? It was the great.
Yeah.
Nobody else could do that. Not
No.
only Patrick Mahomes is the only one.
Yep.
That could do
Especially
that.
in a preseason game.
Yeah, nobody's ever done that before. Have
Remember
you heard
that.
about that? Did you know they
Yeah.
ran the wrong route? Anyway,
Yeah.
Jaguars at the Falcons. Seth, who have you got?
I've got the Jags in this one.
Okay. I don't think Michael Penix is gonna play,
Yeah.
and I don't know who I like better, CJ Beathard or Tyler Heineke. I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I'll go with the Heine.
Okay.
The Heine over the Beathard.
Yeah.
That's how his name's pronounced, right?
Yeah.
Beathard?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to mispronounce
no.
anybody's name.
No,
So
yeah, no.
I want to make sure his name is
Yeah.
Beathard. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Dolphins at the Buccaneers. The battle for Florida. Seth, who do you got?
Let's go with the Mammalians. Let's go with the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh. The mammals. I was gonna say, aren't the
Mammals.
the Buccaneers are also mammals because they're people? Human beings
Technically,
are
yeah.
mammals. So
It's true.
either way, Dolphins. All right.
Fish mammal.
Yeah, I'll go with the Finns as well. I don't know if their starters are gonna get any play. I doubt.
I don't assume
play.
so.
I don't. At this point, again, week 3, a lot of these guys. are probably
Nobody
just
cares.
Shutting them down at this point. So either way, though, I'll go for the Finns. Why not?
Why not?
It's fun. 49ers at the Raiders. They have named their quarterback. It is Gardner Minshew, so he's probably not going to play this game. But Seth,
Yep.
who have you got?
Let's go with the San Fran 49ers.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Raiders. All right.
The Raiders.
Here's my reasoning. All right. The 49ers have actually not been very good this
Mm-hmm.
preseason. I want to say they're 1-1, but they almost lost to the Saints. Like they were losing somewhat early in that game, but they were losing, and that's concerning.
Do you want to
as
hear
far as
my?
preseason
You want to hear my reasoning?
goes. Yes.
I'm just choosing randomly. Let's continue.
Is that right? Okay. That's
No,
also
somewhat.
basically what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Panthers at the Bills. Seth, who have you got? And if you
I like
pick
the Bills.
Okay, I was gonna say you better not pick the Panthers. I
Yeah,
have a
I-
rule now. I am just refusing to pick the Panthers.
Yeah.
Until David Tepper sells that team, I will never take them seriously.
Yeah.
They
and
are
the
an
Bills have Deion
unserious-
Coleman, so
That's right.
he probably won't play,
Coleman.
but you know.
Up next, the Steelers take on your Detroit Lions in
You already know.
Detroit. And that game, apparently, I've been told, is sold out. So it's apparently there's going to be
Wow.
a crowd. So
This is
who
huge.
you got, Seth?
Let's go with the Lions.
Yeah, I mean,
No surprise there.
I'm picking the Lions. Never pick against the Lions. And I'm not going to pick against them in this case because, again, the
Hendon Hooker
information
is
I
here,
have
folks.
received is that it is going to be sold out. And that is hysterical.
Everyone-
to me.
everyone
like
wants
that
to
is
see Hendon
very
Hooker.
fun. Like it's gonna be it's gonna have. Are they gonna have the towels too? Like are they
That'd
gonna
be
do like
so
the?
cool.
Oh my! It's gonna be the most amazing
Yeah.
preseason game.
Everyone
ever.
bought these tickets thinking they were for game 1.
Right, and if you have NFL Network, you should be able to get this game. I believe it's one of the NFL Network games.
Wow, very nice.
I don't know whose team broadcast you're gonna end up getting because last week the Chiefs Lions was NFL Network, and if you were
Oh.
watching on NFL Network, you got the Chiefs
Got the
broadcast
Chiefs.
where they were
Oh.
just. You know, did you know that
Oh,
Patrick Mahomes
Patty
made a
Mahomes.
backwards pass? Did you know that he made a?
I did.
See what? Hold on, let me just. They went.
It's
Can
the
we
wrong
replay
route.
that? Can we run that back?
Yeah.
It's like that was 3 quarters ago, and the game is over.
Thanks, guys.
Anyway, Ravens heading to Green Bay, taking on the Pack. Seth, who have you got?
Do birds like eating cheese?
I think they like pretty much anything.
Pretty much anything? Yeah, let's go with the Ravens over the Cheeseheads.
Okay. I'll actually go with the Pack. I don't like
Yeah.
to have to pick the Packers, but
But
I guess I want to diverge a little bit, and also, I don't know, like maybe Jaden Reed plays.
Maybe.
I like Jaden Reed. I
Yeah.
don't like him when he scores touchdowns on the Lions. But basically,
Well,
he can score a million touchdowns as long as he,
not on
drops
the Lions.
a million balls against the Lions. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine by me.
That's fine.
Up next, Rams taking on the Texans in Houston. Seth,
H-Town.
H-Town, the Texans.
H-Town. The Texans.
I will agree.
Oh.
CJ Stroud, did he play last week or the first week?
I think
he
it was
played
the first week and like I want to say it was the first week, first quarter, no?
I think so. That's right. I'll still go with the Texans. They
Yeah.
have a pretty decent. If Davis Mills plays, Davis Mills is like, okay. So yeah, I'll go with the Texans.
At
Why
this
not?
point,
yeah, at
it's
this point,
random.
who knows? Who cares?
who cares?
The Vikings taking on the Eagles. Seth,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Let's go with the Philly. Let's go with the Philadelphia
Philly.
Eagles. Why not?
This is
yeah.
like the Iran-Iraq war for me. It's
Yeah,
like, can they both
seriously.
lose? Like, is that an option?
I would love
Like
that.
I hate both of these teams. You know what? I guess I'll just go with the Eagles because it's the home team.
Yeah, why not?
But I hope all their fans, slip and fall down a flight of stairs.
Well,
That'd
that'd be ideal.
They threw snowballs at Santa Claus, and that's
did.
why I'm saying that.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear any Eagles fans,
Yep.
whine and complain. He's being mean to the Eagles fans. He's a lion. Shut up. You threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
We can't have that.
You know what you get? You get one of these.
No more.
No more.
No more.
Chargers heading to Jerry's boys. Seth,
Let's go with lightning bolts.
the lightning bolt.
I still got faith. We gotta
You know
win
what?
one.
Nobody beats the Chargers 3 weeks in a row in the preseason. Give me the Bolts.
Nah.
It's a lightning
Yep.
bolt.
I was.
Go Chargers, go.
Thanks, Arnold.
Chargers,
Battle for
go.
New York. Giants at the Jets in the middle of New Jersey. Seth, who have you got?
Let's have some fun here. Let's go with the New Jersey. Let's go. What? Let's go with the Jets.
Okay. The Jets. Yeah, did you see Daniel Jones last week?
I did.
I wish I didn't.
That was not. Yeah, I saw that.
Less than
So that's-
ideal. Give me the Jets. The fact that I have to pick between these two garbage franchises is
incredible.
Yuck, it's gross. I'm going to move
Yep.
on. Browns heading to Seattle, taking on the Hawks of the Sea. Seth, who have you got?
I'm gonna go with the Sea Chickens in this one.
Okay. Sea Chickens it is. I'll have you know I was moments away from actually typing Sea Chickens.
You should have
and
just
realizing,
left
nope, that's not right. I heard the Browns are thinking about potentially moving DTR, Demarius Thomas Robinson. For that reason alone, I will take the Seahawks.
Oh well, there you go.
I don't have any particular
Yeah,
love for DTR. I just think it's
you know,
kind of a weird thing to do
it's
because your
strange.
quarterback is a weirdo and maybe sucks.
Well,
Anyway, Titans heading to the Saints. This is like the most. I hate this game. Seth, who do you want to win?
let's go with the Saints of New Orleans.
I'm gonna go with the Titans. I'm pretty sure they're undefeated in the preseason.
I think they
Could
are.
be wrong about that. So
Yeah.
they're going for the record. They're gonna go undefeated,
All right,
and they're gonna be like the Lions,
Lions.
2008. And terrible.
There you
They're
go.
not gonna lose every game. Terrible.
But
I mean, they could.
it's not out of the it's not a possibility.
Cardinals head to Denver, taking on the Broncos. Seth, what do you got?
Let's go with the Donkeys.
The
Bo Nix
Donkeys.
is a damn good guy. I'm sure he's not gonna play, but you know.
Yeah, I think at this point, Bo Nix is probably done. I don't know if they've officially named him the quarterback, though, so for that reason, I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Yeah.
I imagine by the end of the week, they'll name him the quarterback, if they haven't
More
already.
likely.
And I'm just
Yep.
not on Bronco radio. Either way,
Well,
I'll take the Broncos. And finally, Patriots heading to the capital of the
Yes.
country, taking on the Commies. Patriots versus Commies, Seth.
well, when you phrase it like that, you know who I want to pick.
That's right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Let's
Patriots.
go Patriots.
Patriots, obviously. I feel a similar way about the Commanders that I do with the Panthers. Is that I just
Poor Jaden
despise your
Daniels.
franchise in I despise it.
Jaden is just not gonna have a good year.
Yeah, I don't.
He will not have a good year. I think. Not with
I'm
that
not
team.
looking forward to it.
Jaden Daniels is not gonna have a good year with that team.
No, not fun. And with
We'll
what's
see.
his name, the defensive guy as their coach, don't like it.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but that guy.
That
He's
guy.
bald. He has no hair. Anyway, rounding off the picks here, Seth, Colts, and Bengals. Seth is taking the Bengals, and so am I. We're both taking the Bengals.
well, there you
Bears and the Chiefs. Seth is taking the Bears. I am taking the Chiefs. Jaguars taking on the Falcons. Seth is taking the Jaguars. I am taking the Falcons. Dolphins, Buccaneers. We are both taking the Dolphins. 49ers, Raiders. Seth is taking the 49ers. I am taking the Raiders. Panthers, Bills. We are both taking the Bills. Steelers, Lions. We are both taking the Lions. Ravens, Packers. Seth is taking the Ravens. I am taking the Packers. Rams, Texans. We are both taking the Texans. Vikings, Eagles. We are both taking the Eagles. Chargers, Cowboys. We are both taking the Chargers. Giants, Jets. We are both taking the Jets. Browns, Seahawks. We are both taking the Seahawks. Titans, Saints. Seth is taking the Saints. I am taking the Titans. Cardinals, Broncos. We are both taking the Broncos. And Patriots, Commanders. Seth and I are both taking the Patriots. And those are your
the
preseason week 3 picks.
go. All right. Thank you.
That's great. That was
That's
great.
a great way.
I'll just have you know, Seth, you are currently winning in the
Somehow.
overall record. 18-15, a winning record.
winning
545
record.
success percentage.
Hey, and you know
I
what?
would say win percentage, but I don't
But
know if it's
it's
technically winning.
it's
I have
not
the exact
winning.
opposite record, 15-18.
Yeah.
So this will be the deciding
For the
week. Who
preseason.
wins the preseason championship?
I believe
uh,
I won the preseason last year, correct?
I think you did, and then
you know what?
ended up losing the overall
Yeah.
by
It's
like
all,
one game. I think it was
Yeah.
it was pretty close, but
Yeah. All 50%.
yeah,
I was just like, oh, I like this team more this week. I'm
yeah,
sitting
basically.
I'm sitting at work most of the time, and when you ask for the picks, and I'm like, yeah, let's go there.
I mean, to
there.
be
I don't
fair,
even think.
last year you were one win away from the perfect week.
I do remember that.
Neither of us have had a perfect week. All you
Yeah.
needed was for the Texans to win,
And
and
they didn't.
they blew it against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers.
Yep.
I was like, I'm not gonna win this week, so I just want to see if Seth can get a perfect week. That would be just super cool.
That would have been awesome. Absolutely.
So, yeah, but that's pretty much it. Next week,
That's
though, I'm looking forward to next week for a myriad of reasons. Number one, it'll be the final show without actual college football that I care about. Michigan State. Definitely want to do a Michigan State season preview because I have some thoughts and some hope. I know I joke, but I have some hope and some feelings of goodness. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to break down what their season looks like. We're going to break down the final week of the preseason if there's anything of note that happens. But yeah, I mean, next week is basically the calm before the storm, where basically, if you don't like football, stop watching this channel because that is all we're going to be talking about.
Pretty much.
We're like,
and not the Irish football.
No.
Not football in Ireland.
Not that one. Not
both.
soccer. We're not going to do
doing
that. We're also not going to talk about the Olympics. I refuse. On principle, I refuse. I'm not talking about the Olympics. What do you think of the gymnastics controversy? You know what I think? Here's what I think.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets.
That's what I think.
No more. I was expecting you to.
Retarded.
Yeah.
That's what I think of the Olympic Commission
competition.
The breakdance. First of all, and since we're at the tail end of the show here, I just have to have a little rant on the breakdancing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the fact that we have breakdancing in the Olympics is absolutely absurd. Like,
I don't know why it's
I don't know what like world we live in that we cannot just like say something is not a sport. Like we are so like the Olympics is like so beyond what it is
supposed to be.
Right. Like we don't have wrestling in every single Olympic. Wrestling, the Olympic sport, like that, it would be as absurd as if we got rid of the 50-mile or 50-meter dash in exchange for
breakdancing.
I don't know, go-kart racing.
Yeah.
Or something or
right.
Yeah, breakdancing or I'm trying to hot dog eating contest.
Joey Chestnut, gold medals.
Do they get gold medals at the hot dog eating contest?
I don't think so. I think it's gold stars and probably
maybe they should get like a coronary.
Yeah, well, yeah, more than that.
They should like get their stomach pumped and never allow them to eat food again.
They probably do. But
that's gonna be it.
That's it.
So again, next week, football will be back, really, officially, fully, fun times. So
indeed,
looking forward to it. And then I guess another show note, we'll be live again for this week's preseason game. So should be potentially kind of fun. Probably get at least another half of Hendon Hooker, maybe some more looks at Jake Bates, and maybe Justin Fields so he can play football.
Wow.
Yeah.
You never know.
He got an MVP vote. I will never, ever let anyone live that down. Somebody voted for him for MVP.
Somebody did. And they're probably dead now.
They should be they should lose their right to vote.
Yeah.
And I don't mean for the MVP. So yeah, that's about it. I got nothing else. Seth, you have anything else?
That's it.
All right. We'll see you all next week, potentially maybe this Saturday for the Lions Steelers. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, goodbye, people.
See you later. Goodbye.